How's it been, y'all? Sorry I had to take a little hiatus. But I'm back! Lunch and News with DotSale. Let's get into it. Yeah! It's Wednesday, middle of the week. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Hope your week started out well. You've done all the things that you've wanted to do. You know, like I had to get some things done. And I was successful in that. And now we back. Man, y'all, I hate taking breaks. I literally do not like taking breaks. But a lot of times, you just gotta, make the correct decision within the moment. So, I think I did that. Yo, I gotta get y'all fed. I know y'all starving. Like, y'all ribs are showing right now. Y'all ain't got lunch from DotSale in a long time. We already fast on the weekends. Then y'all go like another 3 days. So it's like, all right, y'all, look. And so I'm gonna hook y'all up. Real quick, all right? Let's go ahead and hop right into our meal. We had this prepped up, so we gotta finish out the vegan cycle. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this one out real quick. We're gonna have vegan Singapore noodles. Let's check it out real quick. Shout out to her channel too.
It has flavor, and if you want to add heat to it, list it because it has a lot of flavor. Review.
Her channel is Bake Eat Review. This probably be the last time for us using her for a while because we've used her a lot. But hopefully we gave her some good promotion. She has jumped up in her subscriber base over the last week or so. So we like to see that. And we'll go ahead and jump to the end real quick because we want to get straight into the
This dish is great with or without the tofu. In my pot with the drained noodles, I'm going to add my curry tamari sauce that we made earlier. Then I combine everything together and the dish
It's a very, very healthy meal.
The spice of the curry, not too much weight to get into this. And I
see if I can get a good.
But you can.
Oh, that's perfect right there. That is perfect right there. Go ahead and help yourself. If you want to, I got garlic bread. I got breadsticks over there. If that's what you're into. What else could you eat with that? I got sriracha sauce. If you want sriracha sauce, it's available for you. I got sriracha sauce for you if you want it. So feel free. Absolutely. And let's go ahead and jump right into the show. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So something happened weird, I don't know, it was like 3-4 days ago. It was a little strange. I was looking through my emails and I had a strange email from Uber. Uber went ahead and sent me an email and I checked it out. Y'all might have got this email as well. Let me go off color mode. Let me go off black and white. Let me go into color mode. All right. So I got this email. I'll go ahead and show y'all real quick. Let's pull this email up. I guess we can do it here. Yeah, let's do it here. All right, so I got this email, right? We'll go ahead and blow it up. And this was a very strange email to me. So I want to talk about this. And I have driven for Uber in the past. I have been a rider of Uber, Lyft. You can call it, Lyft and Uber are the same thing virtually. If a driver picks you up on Lyft, he could very well pick you up on Uber too. Drivers are on both platforms. They're 1099 contractors. They are not under actual employment. They are contract workers, meaning that they take the best job for them and they can decline or turn down jobs as necessary. And Uber goes really deep with a lot of that, and we might have to pull a part 2 to this and go a little bit deeper, but let's stay surface level for now because I want to check out a bunch of stories about this. But here's what they say, and I know y'all like when I read to you, so I'm going to run through this really quick. Getting where you need to go should be accessible to everyone. That's why we're making it easier for anybody to ride by accepting cash. Okay? How it works. To use cash as a payment method, you must be a verified rider. To check your account if it's verified or to verify your account, navigate to the account section of the Uber app. Requesting your next trip in the Uber app, verified riders will be able to accept cash underpayment options. Remember to always book your trip directly into the Uber app. Other features, including safety features, insurance coverage, blah, 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 apply to the trip. You'll see the cash cost up front, and you'll need to make sure you have enough cash to cover the fare. It's recommended to bring smaller bills to pay with cash. Drivers will decide whether or not to carry cash as change. Uber will add any owed to your Uber account, any change owed to your Uber account. Uber Cash, after the trip ends, to use on your next Uber Eats order or Uber ride. So I see what Uber's trying to do here. They're trying to go ahead and build up a well of the remaining cash, and they don't want to give it. So they want to take your cash. If the driver doesn't have change for you, right? You give the driver a 20, your ride is 15, then that $5 will not come back to you in cash, or that you can use it in cash. It'll become a credit. All right. So very, very sleight of hand by Uber here, right? They're basically just taking your cash and turning it into a credit. It's like buying a gift card for Uber. Very, very strange. All right. Not strange, actually. Very, very manipulative, I would call it. At the end of your trip, you'll hand the driver cash directly. If there is an issue, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of issues. And we're going to look at a lot of issues that Uber has already had before they've implemented this new cash system, which I thought we were going away from cash. I mean, we're more going into electronic payments at this point. But for some reason, Uber said this is the right time when they're trying to pick up self-driving vehicles and all these different things. They want to put cash into the mix. Didn't we just stop minting the penny? Like, officially, we printed the last penny, minted it, I should say, last week. I wonder, whoever gets that last minute penny, that's going to be worth a lot more than a penny. Anyways, if there's an issue, don't dispute fares with the drivers. They say this about police, too. If a police officer is treating you messed up, or you think you're being unlawfully detained or given a ticket in bad faith or something like that, a citation, you don't argue with the officer. You have your day in court and you argue with the judge, because that's when a lot of bad things can happen. A cop might just, or in these cases, usually the drivers are the ones that are assaulted, because Uber does not want you to carry a firearm as an Uber driver. Many people don't know this, but it's against their TOS, terms of service. They do not want you to carry a firearm while driving. Even if you're legally able to carry a firearm while you're driving for them, you're not supposed to. Anyways, reach out to Uber support and we'll handle it. Yeah, I bet they're going to be getting a lot of calls regarding this. And, you can get deactivated if you mess around. So they go ahead and have a whole bunch of other things going on with this. Some strange bullet points. Don't worry, drivers will decide whether or not to carry cash as change. We're going to talk about the safety aspect of it. Uber will add any change owed to your Uber account after the trip ends. If you find yourself in a rare situation where you lack the full amount, pay the driver what you can, and you'll be asked to repay the difference in the app before requesting your next trip. Okay. So basically, you can take Uber rides on credit, and then the driver at this point is not going to be receiving the cash that he expected. And then how does that work for the driver as far as him reporting? There's a lot more questions and answers, and we are going to get to the bottom of this, all right? Can I tip a driver? You will not be able to tip in the app. If you want to tip your driver, give them cash directly and tell them how much you want to tip so they can subtract the total from the cash collected. Now, this is going to work in the driver's favor, because if you get a tip at this point, you will make sure that it is not reported to the government. But Trump said no tax on tips. So at this point, we would have liked, Uber drivers would have liked this about 10 years ago or 5 years ago. Now there's no tax on tips. I mean, it's only to a certain amount, but you don't have to worry about paying taxes. But anybody that is a tipping person always carries cash to tip with. I think I talked about this on the last. Oh no, that video hasn't came out yet. But I talked about my etiquette and tipping and all that, and I usually carry cash to tip people. And they say it's not available in all Ubers, but mostly all of them. And then change your destination or adding stops aren't available if you're paying cash, so you cannot adjust your trip. You're gonna have to basically cancel your trip and start all over. So it doesn't give you the option if you're using the cash method to adjust your trip. So let's say you're on your way to the grocery store and you're like, oh shoot, I need to get a screwdriver. Can you stop at Menards on the way? Get the hell out of me, cab. Order a new cab and give me money for trip. Pay up front. Uber credit you. I leave you here on side of road. And then you can figure out your next destination, because I cannot adjust trip. Why did I do that accent for that? I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. So that's what we got there. Now, I want to look at Uber in a different way. I want to look at some of the things that Uber has actually going on, because Uber is and this is actually Lyft and Uber, so it's going to be both. I should just say rideshare in general. I think that Uber...
Devon, what more are you learning about how this...
Hold on, I didn't want to play that yet. So Uber is strange because they actually were kind of first to market with the whole rideshare situation. So people, even if you take a Lyft, you'll say Uber. There's a couple other services, very niche, but there are other rideshare services that you'll see out there. There's like RideX and different things like that. We won't discuss those because they have a very, very small market share of the rideshare industry. So we won't discuss them. We'll stick on Uber and Lyft. They basically have the majority of the market. But saying Uber is basically the same way as somebody says, I'm going to Google something, right? And whether you do it on, no matter what search engine you use, you're always just going to say, just Google it, right? Google is basically the same as saying search. You should say search because it can be on different things. You can use ChatGTP, you can use Bing, you can use DuckDuckGo, you can use Firefox. Yahoo has its own search engine, I believe. Microsoft has its own search engine, but you just say Google. That's the same way with Uber. So we just say Uber, but we really just mean rideshare in general, and basically Uber and Lyft. All right. So these companies have went through a lot of controversial things over the years. How do you want to start? Do you want to start with the most brutal of it all? All right, I think we're gonna start out with the most brutal of what's going on with some of these rideshare situations where Uber drivers are in extreme danger. And what I want to talk about as far as just the overall situation and issue with accepting cash as an Uber driver is now Uber drivers already faced a lot of danger, right? A lot of times people try to rob Uber drivers, usually for their cell phone, their vehicle, using a cash system, although they say you need to be verified, takes away a lot of the possible accountability on the rider as far as how much they actually have. I mean, at this point, it's going to cost the Uber drivers a lot more because you're going to really need to set up a dash cam or have some type of video system whenever you take cash from somebody to make sure that the cash was exchanged properly. You got counterfeit money that's going to be involved, right? You got he say, she say. I gave him $100 bill. Your ride's 25. Passenger says, "Oh, you know what? I'll give you $100. I gave him $100 bill. He didn't have change. Uber, now you owe me 75. Driver says he didn't. He gave me a 20 and a 10. How do you prove it? Right? It's he say, she say. It's gonna be a lot of craziness happening with this whole cash system, and it's probably one of the dumbest decisions that I've seen. But anyways, let's go ahead and just get into some of the more serious things that have happened on Uber without cash being involved and see how this can escalate quite quickly. Let's look at this one first.
Found dead in a ditch in Louisiana with multiple gunshot wounds.
She was an innocent victim. She was actually a
Let's speed this up a little bit.
That's working, trying to make money. And these two guys took advantage of her.
The investigation into her death eventually making its way here to East Harris County as law enforcement trying to track down her stolen car.
The case started falling into place really quickly and it moved along really fast.
The Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office says it found the woman Friday around 11 a.m., but her car was not there. That vehicle, officials say, was eventually spotted in a parking lot in the Houston area that evening. That's when the Harris County Sheriff's Office got involved and tried to make contact with two people inside the car, leading to a foot chase. In a Facebook post about this case, the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office posted on its page these photos of the men they say were involved.
You got two dumb brothers. Usually when there's more than one kid by parents, obviously they have the same parents. They look almost identical in many ways. A little bit of a difference. But usually at least one kid is smart. So you got like one knucklehead and then you got the really smart kid. He's going to be the one to go to Ivy League school. But then you got the loser. He's a drug addict. He sells drugs. He has sex with a lot of women. He's got 50 different kids. But both of them to be this dumb together, it's an L.
Deputies say one of the men, 23-year-old Ethan Bush, climbed onto Beltway 8 and ultimately got hit by oncoming traffic.
He actually got hit by multiple cars, and he is deceased.
The second man, 26-year-old Tristan Bush, was found hiding in a residential backyard nearly 2 hours later and taken into custody by the Harris County Sheriff's Office.
They set up a perimeter and had air cover come in, and they were able to locate him with a K9.
This surveillance video from a backyard in East Harris County on Friday night shows a person crawling underneath the trampoline, holding what appears to be a gun and going into a doghouse. The neighbor tells us this person eventually hopped their fence and was arrested down the street.
We recovered a ton of evidence, not only from our scene where our victim was, but we recovered a ton of evidence from in Houston. So we're very satisfied and very happy with our case.
The remaining suspect now faces a second-degree murder charge, according to law enforcement, but they say additional charges are likely.
Sad situation. Very sad situation.
Uber is a very dangerous job. And a lot of people will say, well, you know, Uber doesn't necessarily... Like, these cases are a minority. They happen, though, right? And I would say that, you know, and this guy's an idiot. Like, he crawled into the doghouse with a gun, bruh. I just, the focus isn't really on these two numbskulls. But his brother got killed, spent his whole life, made it all the way to... How old were these guys? They look like they're around probably like their early 20s. Made it all that way just to try to rob a Uber driver for nothing. Lyft and Uber drivers have nothing. All they have is a cell phone and whatever vehicle they're in, which is usually not that good. Because I know these fools, well, they might have tried to rob like an Uber Black or something. You got nicer cars there. But regardless of the fact, you can't even do nothing with it. It's GTA 6. It's GTA 6 type of action. And he'll go to jail for the rest of his life, and his brother is already cooked. So, yeah. So we got one of these fools left. We got a shot Uber driver. And the women got to be more careful than the men because, and like, again, like I told you, they tell you on Uber, we don't want you carrying firearms. And then you have Tristan and Ethan Bush hop in your car, and then your life is ended, as well as the suspects. All right, let's go ahead and let's keep rolling. We got it right here. Atlanta police officer accused of shooting and killing Lyft driver. It's crazy.
Police officer behind bars charged with the murder of his Lyft driver.
The officer just resigned from the department today, hours after his arrest. This is our first look at his mugshot tonight, just sent into our newsroom. Union City Police say they took Kobe Minor into custody around 1 this morning on South Fulton Parkway. That's where they say he shot and killed his Lyft driver, Reginald T. Folks. Now, just in the last 2 hours here, Lyft sent us a statement saying the company has reached out to the Folks family to offer them support during this difficult time. Lyft says it has also permanently banned Minor's account from the Lyft community. Now, we did some digging tonight into Minor's law enforcement background. We found he was high.
Oh, thank you. You banned Minor's account. He killed the driver, bruh. But hey, listen, Lyft, you know what we're going to do in reaction to this? We're going to ban his account. We also will ban your account for anything else, literally. Anything else. We're going to ban your account because you killed somebody. That's the best we can do.
Hired by the Atlanta Police Department in 2018, and he's been on unpaid leave since December after being arrested in Milton on drug charges.
You can't even trust the police when you're an Uber driver. They're supposed to come and save you. He killed you. Let's keep going.
Silver Falls.
Kelly Kelvin is reminded of all the moments
Let's speed it up.
she spent beside her husband, Josh.
This was Christmas. I don't even remember when.
The couple, married for over 18 years, built a life together with their 3 children in Almsville.
He loved his country. He loved God. He loved his family.
Josh supported Kelly and the kids by driving for Uber.
Even if he wasn't with a customer, he would text me. Like just a quick, hey, busy, or he would just say busy. So then I know, okay, he'll call me as soon as he's done. That call never came. That text never arrived.
He went off to work on Tuesday and never made it home. Portland police say Josh was shot and killed in Southeast Portland while driving a 17-year-old passenger.
And he says, I'm so sorry, but he was killed. I lost it. I screamed. I yelled, not my husband, not my Joshy.
The teenager in the car was also shot, but survived and was taken to a hospital. So far, no one has been arrested.
And he never knew who was getting in his car.
Kelly says her husband just picked up the wrong person at the wrong time.
All you ever see on the platforms for Uber or Lyft is rider safety, rider safety. We do this for rider safety. Where in there is for driver safety?
It's one of the many questions Kelly is trying to answer as she grieves.
Oh, I call his cell phone. It's off now. Police have turned it off. But I call just to hear his voice on the voicemail.
It's these memories and her faith that brings some comfort.
That's what I'm holding on to. That someday I'll see him again.
So heartbreaking. Police are still looking for the person who shot and killed Josh Kelvin. If you know anything, call Portland Police.
They're still looking for the person that shot and killed Kelvin? He ain't get... I thought when you took an Uber, you were supposed to put all of your information in. And this is the problem, right? This is the problem. You don't have to put in accurate information to set up an account on these sites. You can put whatever you want in. You can make your name on Uber. I am going to, all one word, no separation for the first name. And the last name is going to be kill my Uber or Lyft driver. Last name, all one word. And they'll approve you. You have been accepted to the platform. Enter your prepaid debit card information that you got as a prepaid card from Walgreens. You went in there with a mask on, a poo shiesty. You got glasses on, gloves on your hands. You went in there and you bought a Vanilla One card or a Green Dot. They still got Green Dot cards? I don't even know. I don't use that garbage. Your prepaid Visa. You went in there, untraceable, parked your car 5 blocks away, walked in there, don't know who you are. Now you can add that card to Uber. You can create a fake profile, jump on the app, kill your driver, disappear. Nobody knows who you are. Now you got this woman right here without husband. And yeah, they talk about rider safety, never driver safety. Again, they won't even let the driver carry a firearm on them while in the vehicle. And you got people running drugs on Uber. You picking up prostitutes and escorts on the way to their next John. You got a woman over here. She said, you know what? She get in the car. Woman get in the car. You going to 100 South Fuller Street? Yeah. Okay, I got you. Cool. You on your way? Hey, you cute. Oh, you on the phone? Nah, you cute. I liked your picture on the app. You look good for an Uber driver. Usually only I get like old people or they be like foreigners and they don't even speak English. You got to accent yourself. Well, you know, I'm from Tennessee. What you doing up here up north? Oh, you know, me and my husband just moved up here with our kids. Oh, you on your way to see him? No. I'm going to see my boo thing. I'm going to see my sneaky link. Huh? What?
Judge, my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Yeah, I had met him on Tinder. He's a sweet thing. Nothing like my husband. I like you northern guys. You know how to talk proper like. Yeah, you know, possibly. So, yeah. You know, your husband, do y'all share locations or anything like that? Oh yeah, he got my location, but he thinks I'm on my way to go to meet my friend. I told her that my friend girl's up here and we just gonna be hanging out. Oh, really? Hey lady, for some reason your ride just got canceled. What you mean the ride just got canceled? I don't see nothing on my end. She go to look down at her phone. Cancel. Help, send help. Cancel the ride. Yeah, it said, oh, it did just cancel. Yeah, you know what? At this point, I can't do much for you anymore. I'm gonna have to let you out at the safest area. We got a gas station right here. You can probably go in there and order a new car. I'm totally glitched out of the system. I can't even take you anymore. I apologize. I'm so sorry. I can't do anything for you at this point. But go ahead and order you a new cab, and yeah, you'll get fully refunded. I appreciate you, and you know, you have a good time while you're up north, and try to stay warm. All right, yeah, peace, yeah. Yo, that's me as a driver. That's me as a driver. Like, I'm like, yo, like, I see danger. I see something that's going on that's a little bit strange. I'm making adjustments immediately. Right? I can give y'all multiple situations. You know, I've actually, like, I can give y'all actual, like, I mean, y'all don't even want to know. We probably gonna have to do a part 2 to this, and I'll have to give you some, you know, some actual, like, stories. My Uber and my rideshare story times would be like, they'd be insane. Like, I mean, but these are real situations, and these are just certain things that can happen within your ride that you have to be aware of what's going on, because you continue a ride like that, and next thing you know, you pull up to the house, bro already waiting there. He got the big gun out. He already got the side guy held at gunpoint. You pull up. He think you part of it. He don't know that you just a lift. He shoot you through the head. He shoot his wife. He shoot the sneaky link. He go back to the house. He eliminate all the kids. They got a lot of kids. Let's go one more. Let's go 5. And then, and only then, he takes himself out. And then, here you are on the news. Then here you are on the news. Right here. You're on the news right here. This is you. This is now you. Because you picked up the wrong person in Uber or Lyft.
Woman accused of shooting an Uber driver on the US 54 highway is now facing murder charges. Police obtained a warrant for Phoebe Copas, a woman from Kentucky, for a charge of murder with a $1.5 million bond. Now, as we reported, Copas is accused of shooting her Uber driver Daniel Piedra Garcia as he was driving her to her destination last Friday. Copas initially told police she thought she was being kidnapped, but police say their investigation did not support that kidnapping took place. Now, this comes as the family of 52-year-old Daniel Piedra Garcia confirms he was taken off life support. KTSM spoke with the wife and niece of Piedra Garcia, who told us he was brain dead. Now, Piedra was shot in the head. A vigil will be held for Piedra this Friday at Memorial Park in central El Paso, starting at 7:30 in the evening. The family of Piedra is inviting the public to a candlelit vigil to attend, and they also have a GoFundMe account. We have a link to that.
Imagine having your face as an Uber/Lyft driver in your profile pic, and they take that same profile pic and Photoshop it over to your obituary. And this is the danger, right? This is the danger with rideshare. Now, again, to reference back, right? To reference back to this email that I got, which I thought was completely insane. And now y'all want to take cash? Y'all killing each other over less. Now, and they show a $10 bill here. And that ain't even a new model. Is that the new model? Why is it, where's the color at? Ain't the new model orange? They got the second generation $10 bill. The new one's orange. This was the one before that. They couldn't even make they put this out without thinking at all, to the point where they ain't even have proper graphics, bro. The graphics is, listen, who made this graphic, bruh? A kid that's in elementary school that just got introduced to Photoshop 101 introduction. This is what they would teach you right here. And this is what Uber decided to put out. Now, Lyft is going to follow shortly after, because it's always monkey see, monkey do in these situations. And you're going to have more 17-year-olds out here running around trying to get a bag. And the Uber drivers are in danger. You literally, as Uber, right? I want to go to this one. You literally, as Uber, have put your drivers in imminent danger, and like the woman said, you hear about rider safety, because the rider's the one they're getting the bag from. They don't care about the drivers. The drivers have protested and fought for a livable wage, to the point where the split, we were out in Newark. It's different in different states. We're out in Newark. We had to take a couple of rideshare cars, which is good for rideshare drivers when I take their car, because when I take a rideshare car, you're going to get a very, very nice tip. Almost always, unless you're doing some insane stuff. It's like a 99.9. You got to do something insane, bro. You got to like damn near have gotten a car crash, like, and rolled our vehicle multiple times. For a driver not to get a tip from me, you'd have to literally drive the car over a bridge into the ravine. Cars underwater. Driver's unconscious. Hit his head on the steering wheel. Lost consciousness. I'm in the back of the car. All the windows is up. We're slowly sinking to the bottom of the bottom. I hit the driver. Hey, get up. Driver ain't listening. He's unconscious. Driver's unconscious. I got to kick the window out. slowly let the water starts to pour in. I gotta wait until there's no more pressure in the cabin. Then I gotta grab the driver under his arms. Then I gotta pull him out of the window that I kicked out. Maneuver my way out the car, carrying his unconscious body. Kicking like hell to get us up to the top, to get us up to the shore. Drag his body onto the pavement. Give him CPR. Get all the water out his lungs. Slap him a couple times. Get your ass up, man. You just crashed the whole damn Uber car. He spit up water. What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? Ninja, how long you been driving for? What happened? Man, look, I've been driving Uber for like 10 hours straight, bruh. Like, honestly, man, like, they only paying me like $7 a trip on average. I'm broke. I just fell asleep, man. That's why I crashed the car over the bridge into the river. I sorry, man. I ain't even mean to do it, bruh. I should have just took a nap, but, you know, I take the L for this. You know what, bro? I was gonna tip you. Before you almost killed us both and I had to save your life, I was going to tip you. I can't do it anymore in good faith, bro. You almost took us both out. I can't do it anymore in good faith. But what I am gonna do is I'm still gonna give you 5 stars, okay? And I'm gonna give you a review on it. I'm gonna say, even through everything that this driver has been through, he still tried to get me home on 0 hours of sleep. He did fail and crash into a ravine, but he tried his hardest. And then I'll subsequently help you, try to figure out your situation as far as getting back on the platform. Nah, but for real, like I always tip. So when I get into a car, I'm the best passenger you could possibly have. You're gonna be taken care of. So we're in Newark. We're talking to a driver or whatever. Driver's like telling me about the split that he gets. So out there, he basically gets like a 40-60 split. And he showed me. Like the ride was like $30 or something like that. It was like $30, $40. They gave him like $15. Out the $40, he got like $15. And that's to say nothing about Uber drivers have to pay everything. They got to pay for their own insurance, the miles on their car, the wear and tear, their tires, their brakes. Meaning that Uber doesn't provide you a vehicle, Lyft doesn't provide you a vehicle, and on top of that, they don't even help you out with routine maintenance or anything like that. And then on top of that, they take 70% of your earnings. What the passenger pays, they're only going to give you 30% of that in many states. Minnesota actually had to begin to fight, and the rideshare service got shut down. Both Lyft and Uber got shut down in Minnesota at a point. I think this was probably like 2023 or 22, somewhere around there. And they had to make it to where the minimum fare is $5. So in Minnesota specifically, a rideshare driver gets $5 no matter what. You could be taking somebody around the block, they get $5 at minimum. In Newark, I asked him that. I was like, so do y'all have like a minimum of $5? He was like, nah, I could take a ride that's literally $2.15. Like for real, like literally $2.15. And then also, with the whole cash situation, what about change? like change, like as far as like pennies, dimes, nickels. We ain't even got pennies no more. Them are going away all together. Driver gonna have a cup full of change. So right here, this guy lost his life to this woman. Did we ever get an update on her, on what happened with her? Did we get an update? Let me see something. Let me see something. Copas. Trial. Let's see. Update. When was this from? This is 2 years ago. Oh. Charges dropped? Stop it. They said they dropped the charges. Hold on.
Thousands of women are.
Oh, this is on my other. Hold on real quick. Let me do it like this. Me no watch ads. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to do it like this. They said the charges got dropped. Okay, so this story right here
It's been nearly
was from 2 years ago, the story we just watched with this woman right here that took her driver out. Not this one. We're going to come to that second. This was 2 years ago. So this is the most recent updates on this. Let's go ahead and watch this real quick. This is just 5 months ago. All right, looks like they got some updates. Let's check it out.
Nearly 2 years since Daniel Piedra,
Yeah,
an Uber driver, was shot and killed on the job. The woman accused of shooting him, Phoebe Copas, died earlier this year.
What?
As we reported, Copas claimed she shot him because she feared Piedra was kidnapping her and taking her to Juarez. Today, the murder charge against her was formally dropped. Diana Castillo joins us live from downtown with what this means for the case and the Piedra
How did she die? What the hell is going on?
Well, Estela, District Attorney James Montoya says the evidence in this case would have likely led to a murder conviction. But now that the defendant is gone, there will be no trial. The family won't get their day in court. But still, they want to remind people that the victim, the true victim in all of this, is Daniel Piedra.
He's not here to make us laugh anymore. He's not here to have his weekly coffee with my grandma. I don't hear him talking to my mom anymore. They would talk every day. They were like best friends.
It's been nearly 2 years since Daniel Piedra's family last heard his voice after a typical Uber shift turned tragic. June 2023, Piedra was driving Phoebe Copas to Speaking Rock Casino. She was visiting from Kentucky. Now, during the ride, she shot Piedra in the head. Copas telling police she believed Piedra was kidnapping her to Juarez. According to the DA's office, GPS data later proved he was simply following the route she requested.
I don't think that it's fair the way that he was taken. No one deserves that. He didn't deserve that. It's not fair.
One of the things that happen when you're in rideshare, and it should never get to the point of what happened in this situation, but you know, when I did rideshare, a lot of the times, like, the app is antiquated in many ways. I mean, they're constantly updating the GPS system and different things like that and adding new routes and better ways to get places. But I've had people get into the vehicle and give me specific directions on how they want me to get them to their destination because they know better than the GPS knows on how to get to their place. You know, sometimes there can be a spot where you need to take a U-turn, but they're like, no, you don't need to do that. You can take the turn here and then you can wrap around and come the other way. And then you're going to avoid having to wait at this light that takes like 3 minutes to cycle through. Or, you know, some people, I had this one woman, I was in rideshare. I had this one woman and she got into the car and Uber wanted me to take the highway. it was the most efficient way to get her to her destination. And anybody that has driven or is a passenger, passengers, this would be a lot harder. If you've never driven rideshare, it's a lot harder for you to understand this. Because if you're not a passenger that's talkative, then you don't really know how talkative some of these passengers can be, because you're a Lyft driver and you're picking up all these different personalities and you don't know what they're going through. One girl just broke up with her boyfriend. She just got divorced. Another guy might have just lost an important football game. Another person might be late to pick their kids up because their car broke down and now they got to hurry up and skedaddle over to the daycare before they get charged. You know, one person might be on their way to a funeral. Another person might be late to catch their flight. One person might be in a wheelchair. One person might have a bag full of fentanyl. Like, you don't know who you're picking up, right? So this lady, she gets into the car, right? And I'm about to get, second she gets in, she's like super talkative. Old woman, right? Old woman, probably like in like her 60s. And when she got in, she had a noticeable limp. And she was recovering from an accident. The accident she got into was in a rideshare car. The rideshare driver was on the highway and crashed into the back of another car, not paying attention. And if anybody's been in Uber cars, right? A lot of times you'll have drivers that are doing 1,000 things at once. Sometimes they got the earpiece in, they got the Bluetooth, the old one. Not like AirPods. I mean like the Bluetooth device where it's like one single little solid thing. It wraps around your ear. It's all big and bulky. And all you can do is talk into it. You can't even listen to music in it. It literally is just for talk. So you get in there and you get in the car and they having a whole conversation while they're driving. And they got 90s pop playing. And it's just a disaster right in the car. So anyways, they're not paying attention. So she gets in the car with this guy and he basically rams into the back of another car and sent their car basically tumbling and just destroyed her, right? Like messed her legs up, all of that. She had cuts all over her face and everything. So this is like probably like 9 months removed from that accident. So she had a crazy, was it a phobia or is it a PTSD? She had one of those where it was like she was totally traumatized by the situation. So she gets into the car and she's like, hey, I know what the app's going. She was very nice though, by the way. Very, very nice. Very demanding and very matter of fact and very aggressive in the way she spoke, but nice at the same time. And I think she just didn't want to have any type of issues with the ride because she was willing to crash out if I took the highway under any circumstance. So my ride, that should have been, I think the ride should have been like 15 minutes. It took 37 minutes. I remember this ride specifically. The ride went from 15 to 37 minutes, right? And we had to take the side streets. She gave me turn-by-turn directions. And I asked her, I was like, do you want to just give me your phone? I can just set it up here so I can go ahead and see what's going on. She like, nah, I got them all memorized in my head. The woman gave me turn-by-turn directions to avoid the highway, which was very difficult because there was different types of bridges that needed to be traversed and all kind of different paths that we needed to take. So Lyft, at that time, they had just released this new feature where if you start to go off of the path or you start to deviate from what the GPS is saying or the ride takes too long, it'll show a pop-up on the app that says, are you okay? Do you want to, send a SOS or anything like that? Something like that. It'll pop up. If the ride is not going the way that the algorithm thinks it should go, it'll basically, give you the option to contact Lyft or contact the police or whatever. You can just press one button, it'll send help. So I see the button or whatever. I showed the lady, I was like, yo, Lyft think that you about to kidnap me. I didn't think anything wrong, but again, she could have been, because she had me doing something the app didn't want me to do. And the woman's in the car and it's like, you know, I'm not worried about her from a physical standpoint, right? But where'd it go? This woman probably couldn't hurt me as far as just doing anything like, you know, beating me up or something like that, or, you know, grabbing me and choking me from behind. I'd probably be able to, you know, get myself out of a jam. But if she got a gun or a knife and she just want to run it across my what jugular vein? Is it jugular up here? If she just want to run a knife across the back, across my throat, it's over, bro. I can't do nothing. Oftentimes the people that sit right behind you, which is super weird. So I don't even let people, when I was driving, I never let people sit directly behind me. You got to at least sit on the passenger back seat. Two things that are weird. If somebody is a single passenger and they sit behind you when they get in, or if they want to sit in the front seat. Those are two red flags to look for. Not always something bad. Some people are just shy. Some people are, you know, scared of you possibly. But the dynamics that are in rideshare are very strange. So anyways, let me finish the story up. So this woman has me take the side streets all the way there. So I did that 37-minute trip, and she was really nice. She gave me a tip. She gave me like $10 in cash as a tip. So that was nice. And she was like a grandma. She was literally like a grandma. Like, she called me baby the whole ride. She was like, oh, thank you, baby. Thank you, sweetheart, honey. Like, all the words were like stuff grandma would say. You know what I'm saying? Honey, baby, sweetheart, precious. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that wasn't the issue, right? The issue was when we look at the way that the GPS is set up on some of these rides, is that it'll take you oftentimes the longer way, I think, so they can collect more money. It won't take you the most efficient way. It'll take you the longest way. Sometimes that longer way could have to do with the time that the ride would take. So sometimes you can go a route where the route will take, it'll be a 10-mile route, but you'll get there in 15 minutes. Or you could take the 8-mile route, but it might take you 20 minutes, right? Because one might be highway, one might be going through traffic, whatever the case is. So when this driver, and I ain't gonna lie, you damn near, if you're the family, could say that, was this Uber? Uber was implicit in giving this woman a fear that made her think that she was being kidnapped, because the app took the woman in an unnatural route that didn't make sense to her. Now, I'm not saying that what she did was right. I'm saying this in general. This is just like people that are just like regular drivers that's not going to kill you for it. But they get a little bit nervous when you don't take the route that they know is the correct route. If they know their neighborhood and they're like, you don't need to get on the highway for this. You're going to run into traffic. You're going to have to wait where the light turns green on one side and it's red on the other, and they form a line and everybody takes forever to get through it. It's like, just take the streets. It's a lot quicker. And for me, I always listen to the driver. I mean, the rider, the passenger. If the passenger tells me to take a different way, I always take that different way. But then again, that could put me in danger, right? Because they could be taking me to somewhere where I'm not supposed to go, or taking me through a bad neighborhood or something like that. It's like the safest route is to take the highway, but then they got me stopping at a red light in Compton, and all of a sudden some YNs bust the window and drag me out the car like GTA 6. And now we both get capped. So apparently the woman's defense was that she thought she was being kidnapped. She thought this guy was Cartella. Where'd he go? She thought he was cartel. He didn't take the direct route because Uber sent him off. She thought that she was being kidnapped. She acted out of fear, allegedly, and took him out.
That I was driving Phoebe Copas to Speaking Rock Casino. She was visiting from Kentucky. Now, during the ride, she shot Piedra in the head. Copas telling police she believed Piedra was kidnapping her to Juarez. According to the DA's office, GPS data later proved he was simply following the route she requested.
I don't
Just
think
following
that
the route.
It's fair the way that he was taken. No one deserves that. He didn't deserve that. It's not fair.
And another thing about this is like Rideshare did something that taxis does something that taxis don't do very well. A taxi driver, and we're going back, right? This is before GPS and all that, when taxis were really prevalent. And now taxi drivers have all shifted over to Rideshare. But a taxi driver knew the neighborhood. Taxi drivers were local, right? So they understood the neighborhoods that they drove in. And they always knew the most efficient route and the best way to get to where they needed to get to. Everything was memorized. Rideshare drivers are 100% dependent on the GPS. They don't know the cities that they live in at all. They don't know how to navigate the streets effectively and make the correct moves to get their passenger there in an efficient manner, avoid traffic, avoid congestion. So they just rely on the actual GPS, and you end up in situations like this. So, you know, as a rideshare driver, you definitely have to know your areas and be able to maneuver correctly. And if the passenger tells you to take a different route, I would say like 99% of the time do that, unless you have a really odd feeling about the person or something like that. If a passenger tells you, hey, this is the better route to take, after you go past this stoplight, it'll update, and then you'll see that it'll drop 4 minutes off the ride, and it'll be a lot quicker. If you get on the highway here, you're going to have to do this and do that. You should just listen to him. Let's listen to the rest of this.
He's no longer here because someone just made a rash decision.
Copas was charged with murder. But in March, just before a court appearance,
how did she get clipped?
She died in an El Paso hotel room. An autopsy revealed it was from natural causes. On Thursday, District Attorney James Montoya formally dismissed the case. One, he said, would have served justice to Daniel's family.
We are confident that had this case proceeded to trial, a jury of El Pasoans would have convicted Ms. Copas. We would have been able to prove that her use of force was objectively unreasonable and unnecessary.
Even with the lack of a trial or verdict, the Piedra family says they are committed to keeping his memory alive.
He was loving, really.
So hold on real quick. This takes me to a whole nother conversation. So this woman, right? This happened 2 years ago. So she's out. She's not in custody. So she ends up getting clipped of natural causes. So the family never gets justice. Why the hell does it take so long in our justice system to prosecute? These cases be dragged out along 3, 4, 5 years sometimes. But this one, it was at least 2 years. So long that the woman that killed this man died before. And listen, I think for the family, posthumously, is that how you say it, posthumously? Yeah, get her posthumously. Y'all said you got all the evidence, still convict her. A lot of people say, nah, you shouldn't do that, whatever, it's a waste of time. Well, Some people need that. I wouldn't need it. But this family looks like they're still in a lot of pain. And, you know, just having that might help them out to know that she was held accountable. This is all bad. This is all bad. All right. Check out one more. Lyft driver, former Afghan interpreter, murdered by 15-year-old boy. 15-year-old boys supposed to be on Uber and Lyft. I know they got the teen account now. We ain't even talked about that. We got to talk about that too.
Nasrat Ahmad Yar was gunned down in D.C. while working to support his family. Tonight, police have now arrested one of the suspects, a 15-year-old. Our John Rogers is live in the studio. John, you spoke briefly with Yar's family. How are they feeling about this arrest?
Yeah, Scott, they tell me they're relieved because it's been very difficult for the family since he's been gone. A 15-year-old boy, as you mentioned, now behind bars, charged with first-degree murder, but the family hopes justice is served.
2 years is a crazy amount of time for a trial. And there's no doubt that this woman was the person that took his life. Like, that's not even up for question. The only question is how long she's actually going to get in prison for this. Because there's no doubt she was the trigger person. You can kill somebody on tape in 4K and still get a bail awaiting your sentence date and trial. And it'll take like 3 years. And you can pretty much do anything during that time. They might at best take your passport. But what's stopping you from just getting on a boat and just sailing the sea and trying to figure out how to get to another part of the world? Listen, the entire court, everything in America, everything in the world is a scam. There's nothing that's not a scam that we're dealing with in life at this point. Not anything. Nothing. Everything is a money grab, is a scam. It's a way to draw more resources, more money for lawyers, more money for the court, multiple appearances, fines, fees, monetization. That's all it is. It shouldn't take more than a week to figure all this out. The more elaborate cases, I'll give up to a month. They literally let cases just sit on the shelf. They be like, we're investigating. Investigating means they put it on the shelf. They'll get back to it in about 3 weeks. They'll do about 4 or 5 hours of work on it. They'll put it back. They'll come back. They'll do about 4 or 5 hours of work on it. They'll put it back. You could have just did all that work in the span of 1 week straight. And we'd have had this whole thing wrapped up within 2 weeks. Now the family got no closure. The woman never had to testify in trial. Nothing. You didn't even know why she did it exactly. And what the hell? She died under natural circumstances in a hotel, and she was on the way to a casino when she clipped them. You gotta be careful about taking people to certain places, right? Certain places, the casino. The worst place to pick somebody up from is the casino. Because about 99% of people that go to the casino lose. About 99% of people that go to the casino are going to get into the vehicle and be broke and depressed. Because they went in there, they had high hopes, they thought they were going to win. Everybody, when they go to the casino, they think they're going to come out with a jackpot. And about 100% of them come out with no money at all. I don't even want to tell y'all about the casino trips. Matter of fact, we got to stop it here. We have to stop it here. We're going to do a part 2 to this. Part 2 has a lot. We're going to finish this story right here with the former Afghan interpreter murdered by a 15-year-old boy. We're going to do a part 2 to this tomorrow, okay? Part 2 of this tomorrow, because we have a whole nother section we have to get to. And I'm going to tell y'all about a few trips of me picking people up from casinos as a rideshare driver. And I'm going to tell you how those trips usually go. And I'll give you a specific one. And then we have a whole bunch of other things we have to get to regarding Uber and Lyft. Because I got so much we got to get to, it's insane. We're going to get on the drivers because they got to be held accountable as well. We're going to get to all the features. We're going to get to the protests. We're going to get to the pay. We're going to get to all the carjackings. And I'm going to give y'all some more exclusive stories that you have not heard and that most people will not tell you regarding rideshare, because I've done multiple trips. And I'm going to show y'all how many trips I've actually done. So we're going to call this one part 1. But real quick, we got to get to the warm story because I still have to give y'all that. All right. So we're always going to end on a positive note. Let's check this out real quick. Community helps Lady Saver Diner.
Floods of Kentucky may have upended lives, but hope is already simmering at a beloved eatery in Hazard, badly damaged in the disaster.
It's just an Eastern Kentucky thing. If somebody's in trouble, we help.
Once word got out that Francis Diner was underwater,
it's awful.
Help moved in.
They always support us, so we're here to support them.
At 84, Frances Napier, the matriarch of this local fixture, has been serving up tasty Southern meals for more than 5 decades. Why do you think it's so special?
I guess home cooking. You know, old country cooking. Hey, you, John.
I'm good, honey. How are you?
Good.
But it's also the side of warmth and generosity that keep diners coming back.
Always put her love into her food.
It's like your grandma. She'll fix you anything you want.
We gonna get cleaned up.
Now the community that she's fed and nurtured for years is returning the favor, restoring her namesake restaurant. What do you want to tell the people helping you right now?
I appreciate it so much.
And as she rebuilds, she knows her late husband will be close by.
What would he say if he was still here today?
He'd be heartbroken. And he'd tell me everything be all right.
And everything is going to be all right because she has a community that really appreciates her, and she took care of her community throughout the entirety of her life, over 50 years of having this diner open and feeding people. And that's what I do. Hold on. I didn't want that graphic up. Sorry, guys. Should have been this graphic. We'll still give her time. So that's what I do. I always feed y'all. That's why I want to specifically make this show lunch with DotSale, because, you know, sometimes we have dinner too. And I think we need to do breakfast at some point. We got to get a breakfast show in. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow for part 2. We will have part 2 to this because we have a whole nother section we have to get to regarding this rideshare stuff. So make sure you're here tomorrow. But regardless of that, when you take care of the younger generation, they're supposed to take care of you when they become in power. So when this woman was in power and she had all the say in the community because she was thriving, she took care of everyone. And when she started to be on a decline in older age and things started to get more difficult for her to do, she lost her husband, unfortunately. Looks like a great guy. Looks like he was there for her. In younger years, you see him right there in the picture. This is a great shot right here. The younger generation came to help her and remembered everything she did for them. And I think it's incredible. I think that's how we should be. I think we should help one another because there's enough resources for us all. And maybe she can get the shop renovated too at some point. Or the diner, I should say. Probably use a renovation, yeah. Yeah, look. You see the kids right there. They weren't even alive when she started. But now they're here to take care of her and help her out. So we gotta do it by committee. Shout out to the community for helping this old woman out in this situation. I think it's incredible, and I think we need more of this. And I think I gotta go. I had to go, y'all. Listen, part 2 tomorrow. I'm gonna change the title to this to part 1. We're gonna get part 2 tomorrow. Part 2 is gonna be crazy. I didn't even get into the craziest part of all of this regarding the whole rideshare situation. So remind me to give y'all the story about the casino, and we'll pick up where we left off. And then we'll go into some other hotbed topics regarding this, all right? And don't nobody try to knock off my idea and hurry up and get a shoe out before I do on my part 2. Because you can't do it as good as me. I'm underrated, y'all. I'm 100% underrated. Like, I'm up there with the top YouTubers, social media personnel in the world. I'm just not known. That's the only difference. I can hang with them all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are incredible. Y'all are absolutely incredible. I will look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow.